Brown's mandatory minicamp underway, 3 days out here in Berea of practices, and then it is time for, I guess, what we'll call summer vacation. Everyone will go their separate ways before training camp, and today, Mary Kay, they delivered. We heard from Myles Garrett, Shedeur Sanders, and Dillon Gabriel. Let's just start with Myles Garrett. Our first opportunity to talk to the Browns star edge rusher since the offseason program started. Obviously, we did talk to him after he signed the extension, but Myles is here, and he is practicing.
Yes, he is, and there were two big takeaways for me from Myles today. First of all, Jim Schwartz, as you guys remember, said last week that he believes Myles will have his best season ever in the wake of his blockbuster extension and his trade request. So we asked Myles about that today, and Myles said, absolutely, and it's trending that way. I also feel like I'm on track to have my best season ever. So Browns fans can get excited about that. And then I asked him about Jimmy Haslam calling on him for more leadership, which he said at the NFL annual meetings in March. And Myles said, absolutely, 100%. He's taking up that challenge, especially even with Nick Chubb gone and with some of the changes that have been made. He believes it's incumbent upon him to be that leader, and he plans on stepping it up.
Yeah, Ashley, and the thing about Myles is we know he's back here, obviously, with that big contract. Jim Schwartz saying that he needs to take on more responsibility, needs to take on more leadership. It seems like he's embracing it. It's also one of those things like, all right, we'll see. Let's see what happens as the season goes along.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that's hard to measure when you're still at this stage of the year for this team. But I'm really curious about that D-line room in general. I had a chance, to talk to Alex right today, actually, while Myles Garrett was talking, so I missed most of Myles. But Alex, now entering his fourth year, is talking about how he feels like he can be a more vocal leader on this D-line now. And I do think regardless of what Myles Garrett does leadership-wise, it'd be nice to have another vocal leader on that defense because we know that's never really been Myles' style.
Now, like I said, we heard from both quarterbacks. Let's just go in the order they talk. Shedeur Sanders. I guess for me, one of the things that stood out, Mary Kay, was he talked about time. This is going to take time. Obviously, once again, very clearly the fourth string quarterback, very clearly behind Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, and Dillon Gabriel. We did see him take some more team reps today. They really let the rookies have at those team reps, especially at the end of practice. But I just thought it was interesting. Shedeur struck a tone of time. He's not in a rush right now.
No, he's not. And I think the other really, really good thing about Shedeur is that he is so focused on getting better every single day that he has blocked everything out. I'm sure he's not even really necessarily listening to all the national media christen him the starter already for the season. He is really just working hard at what they're giving him to do. And what they're giving him to do isn't necessarily the same as what they're giving Kenny and Dillon to do right now, because they really are trying to not only get those guys ready for the season, but also to try to figure out what should go in this offense and what should get knocked out. So he is just honed right in on what he's expected to do, and he's doing a nice job with it.
Yeah, Ashley, it just seems like Shedeur understands the assignment at this point, and just like all these guys, he wants to be the starter, he wants it to be soon, but he just understands kind of what's in front of him.
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, this was another press conference with him where I just felt like he said all the right things that you want to hear a quarterback, but especially a young quarterback say, and he kind of touched on a lot about how much any miss in practice really bothers him, that even today he was only thinking about the handful of balls that he let get on the ground or that receivers weren't able to grab, and that they're going to go inside and watch the film from some of those throws. He talked a lot about that. So again, I think he is saying all the right things in terms of what he's focused on right now.
Now, Dillon Gabriel, speaking of saying all the right things, he is very polished when he talks to us, and today it was all about process. And I don't know, when he talks, I can see why Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry could sit in a room and fall in love with this guy. Mary Kay, look, it hasn't always looked amazing on the field with Dillon Gabriel. Like you mentioned, he's doing different things. He's working against the first team more often. Obviously, we haven't seen Shedeur go against the first team at all. So with Dillon, focused on that process and just sort of like Shedeur, just kept striking that chord. It's all about the process here.
Yeah, I think that's the important thing to note here with Dillon is that they're giving him a lot to do. They're heaping a lot on his plate, because if he is going to even come close to being ready to start the season or be the backup, which that's very much in play, then he's got to be ready. So they are throwing a ton at him, and I do see the lights coming on for him. I think he's starting to look more efficient. I thought he looked better today than the last time that we saw him. And once again, they are not making it easy on him. It's incumbent upon him and Kenny they are taking the brunt of the install. And, that's a big responsibility, but he's up for the challenge. And he also said that you learn from your failures. So he's trying to do that too.
Well, and he also got to go against Myles Garrett for the first time today, and Myles said he thought he saw maybe Kenny's eyes get wide on one play. Myles went unblocked. Suddenly he's in Dillon Gabriel's face, eyes wide open. But Dillon says what all the quarterbacks say. I'm glad he's on my team, but these are the moments that he can learn from.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. Is Dillon made the joke that I think every new quarterback in Cleveland over the last 7 or 8 years has made when they've had Myles Garrett across from them for the first time. But yeah, I think in that way, this is the first time, obviously, we've had a chance to see Myles out there in those team drills. But what is so great for, a guy like Dillon Gabriel, even a guy like DeJuan Jones, right, who's getting used to a new spot on the line, is having really top-tier competition to go against, because you're not going to get tested like you would in a game. But Myles Garrett, that's probably about as close as you're going to get when you're still in shorts and not wearing pads yet.
All right, full coverage of day one here at minicamp. And then, of course, the next 2 days, Wednesday and Thursday, you'll be able to find it all at cleveland.com/Browns.